Hi you guys, today I'm going to share with you my recipe for gluten-free, no rye bread. Typically rye bread is very dense, but I've lightened it up considerably just in the texture, not in the flavor. There is no rye in this, but it somehow tastes like rye bread. It is every bit as good as anything you could ever find in a deli or anywhere else for that matter. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. This bread starts out like any of my other breads by dumping all the ingredients into a bowl and mixing it. It's just that simple. So we have 600 grams of milk here. You can use dairy-free milk if desired. 56 grams of melted butter. Again, you can use a dairy-free butter. 29 grams of sugar. 5 grams of whole psyllium husks. 6 grams of instant yeast, 14 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder, and then this is 14 grams of caraway powder. So I took a couple of tablespoons of caraway seeds and put them in my spice grinder and ground them into a fine powder, and that is what gives this bread the taste of rye without having rye in it. And I'm also adding 7 grams of caraway seeds because I like caraway seeds in mine. If you don't like the seeds in yours, you can totally leave them out. Finally, there are 450 grams of my bread flour blend and also 12 grams of kosher salt. And we'll just get this on the mixer, and we're going to mix this on medium to medium high for 5 minutes. I usually just set a timer and walk away. So this is what it looks like when it comes off the mixer. It's nice and smooth, but in no way able to be kneaded or manipulated, using our hands at least. So I'm going to scrape this all into the center of my bowl. You can scrape it into another bowl if you'd rather. I personally just leave it in the bowl because I have 3 KitchenAid bowls. So I don't want to dirty another dish if I can help it. And I'm going to cover this and we're going to let it proof until doubled in size. That could take 2 hours. It could take 4 hours. It just depends on the ambient temperature in your proofing area. In the colder months, it will take longer. All right, this has been proofing actually for an hour and a half. And that's because it's pretty warm here. It's like in the 70s here. But I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the fridge and let it sit in the fridge overnight. All right, I just took this out of the fridge, and you might be able to see here, but it has deflated just a little bit. That is totally normal. It's going to be fine. So I'll just grab my bench scraper and some extra bench flour. By the way, I always keep a little bowl of bench flour on my kitchen island for whenever I'm kneading any bread. And this is just a little bit of extra of my bread flour blend. And get this all out onto the flour. And we're just going to knead this until smooth. We obviously don't knead for the purpose of developing gluten because this is a gluten-free baking channel. We're doing it just to smooth out the dough and make it to where it looks nice and it has way less holes in the middle. Okay, that looks good. So I'm just going to put this on a sheet of parchment right now, and I'm going to shape it into a batard shape, which is kind of like a torpedo shape. That's my preferred shape for this bread. You can shape it into a round, like a bowl, or you can even put it into a loaf tin for sandwich loaf. In fact, I have another video for swirled gluten-free rye bread, and I will leave a link above for that. And that is done in a loaf pan. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it on my pizza peel and let it proof until nearly doubled in size. All right, this is fully proofed. I've got it on my pizza peel. I have the oven preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit with my pizza steel in the oven. You can also use a stone or even an overturned baking sheet. And we will get it into the oven right directly on the baking steel, stone, or overturned baking sheet. And to create steam, there are a few different ways. I'm going to use right now a large stainless steel bowl, and I'm going to cover that and leave it in there for 15 minutes. So now it's been 15 minutes. Taken the bowl off. It has risen nicely already with that steam under the bowl, and we'll let it bake for another 35 to 40 minutes. And check it out, you guys. It is absolutely perfect. I couldn't ask for a better gluten-free rye bread. Actually, I couldn't ask for a better rye bread, period. But this is actually gluten-free, and no one will ever know. I made Reuben sandwiches, one of my most favorite sandwiches, and my husband's the other night with this bread, and we both just oohed and awed. And I don't think I've had a better Reuben sandwich than this. So if you are a fan of the Reuben sandwich, use that leftover corned beef from St. Patty's Day. Make yourself an awesome sandwich. Enjoy!